We've taken a look at the Pulsar X2H on the channel before. Here they are, and now we have the ES Esports version available as well to take a look at. So let's see what is different about the Esports version compared to the standard version. Regular on the left side and the X2 ES on the right. The ES is just gonna have a more solid build, not saying that the regular X2 isn't solid, but just even more, like there's no holes to cut down on weight. In fact, this one is gonna be a bit heavier, but it's got some additional technology as well. So the X2H can go up to between 1,000 to 4,000 hertz polling rate if you buy the polling rate booster for about $30, and the X2H ES can do the same 4,000 hertz polling rate with the polling rate booster that's actually included with the ES version of the mouse, but plugged in wired you can use up to 8,000 hertz polling rate, so that can be a competitive advantage. You also get, instead of the rubberized scroll wheel, you have an aluminum scroll wheel. You have the X2 ES at about 65 grams, X2 size 2, which is the same size, at 56 grams, and then we have the X2 size 1 at 52 grams, so definitely noticeably less than the X2 ES, and you do feel it in the hand too. Like the ES does feel a little bit more solid, a little bit more rigid, and heavier as well. You have this driverless design, so you actually have a display built into the bottom of the mouse. It is an OLED screen, so you can change your polling rate from 500 hertz all the way up to 4,000 hertz wireless, and then when you plug in the mouse you can set it up to 8,000 hertz polling rate. You can change your DPI, see your exact battery percentage, and customize some other features as well on the mouse, but I typically like to run at 2,000 hertz polling rate because I find that that gives me best amount of like battery and performance. So definitely want to keep that in mind. If you run it at 4,000 hertz wireless, you are definitely going to be shortening the battery life of your mouse between charges. Like I only like to charge my mouse about once a week if I can help it. If I can shorten that down a little bit more, even better, but I find that the best battery is going to be on 2,000 hertz polling rate where I charge it, and I can leave it for over a week and probably have, you know, I would say 30 to 40-ish hours of gameplay before I need to charge it again. Not even just gameplay, but just of use. But I will say the batteries are very efficient. Like if you're not using the mouse, more or less like pretty much off. And you can tell on the LED indicator on the 4K polling rate booster that looks like this as well. So mind you that if you buy the regular X2, it's $99. You do get lighter weight, and you can also get the mini size as well. And the polling rate booster is $30. So effectively making them the same price. If you don't mind having a heavier mouse and you want something that's a little bit better build quality as well, then you can buy the ES version of the mouse for the same price as the polling rate booster and have the performance advantage. The weight is going to be a little bit heavier, of course, but you do get those extra features as well. So it's entirely up to you, whatever you prefer. They're both the same price. I'm probably going to go back to the regular X2 because I do enjoy the lighter weight. I'm not going to act like my aim has been compromised with the ES version. It just, everything still feels just as good. You do notice that little bit of a weight difference, and I think that's because like for the better part of 2 or 3 years I've been using mice that are between like 45 to 55 grams, and years before that like 65 and 70 grams was like the norm. So I've had a lot of time to like adjust my weight down of like my preference, I suppose. Went from using something that was like around 100 grams to around 70 grams, and now we're at, let's average it at 50 grams. Technology is a great thing, always improves over time due to competition and innovation.